Hi folks. So this is going to be a little vlog to explain some of the production things that happened this week with this short. I think I might just make one of these every week from now on in order to basically have some production notes on what was learned and what you can avoid doing because I did it for you. Oh boy. So the major one this week is don't procrastinate. Yeah, how about that one? Learn that because on Thursday I'm like, well, I need to put something together. And I got busy with work stuff. I had to get these things out for work. I was like, you know what? I'll put it off till Friday. I'll just do the whole entire thing on Friday. Yeah, that's a thing. It's not a thing. It's not actually a thing. So anyway, that was the first big problem. The second problem was that I attempted to just like throw something together myself. And it ended up not having a beginning, a middle, and an end. So Sammy came to the rescue and said that they would help out. So I had the motivation to actually try and do something with a real beginning, middle, and an end. We didn't have much time. Sam had basically 2 or 3 hours to do all the shooting. So I immediately grabbed an iPad and I started to basically storyboard out an intro of something that I could get started on that I would then just wing after Sam left. So that worked, actually. The shots that I ended up storyboarding out are in the short, and that is the intro. So we sort of got that done. We shot outside. Sam did their first camera operation. So that was pretty cool. I was sitting on the front porch and Sam was operating the camera. That was super helpful. And I think the shot came out really nice. So, yeah, everything was great because, I set the exposure and taught Sam how to pull focus. What I didn't know was that when I got all of the footage back onto the computer, that it would all be super messed up where the colors were all off. They were all messed up. I also didn't know why. So I kept on trying to color correct it and do all kinds of things, thinking maybe my sensor went bad. Maybe I don't know. I went through a ton of things. And in the end, it was something that I had never seriously considered, which was that at some point, because I was shooting indoors and I was using a very specific temperature of light, I decided to set the white balance to manual and forgot. Side story. When I was a kid, I lent my skateboard to a friend so they could practice their kick flips, and they loosened the trucks so that way they could do the kick flip easier. And I forgot to put the trucks back. And then when I went down the really, really steep hill that I would love going down, this time with my mother in a minivan behind me, clocking my speed, I got speed wobbles and I crashed in front of my mom, and it was awful. Super, super awful. I have a crunchy wrist for the rest of my life because of that decision. You would think someone who has gone through an experience like that would learn to put things back, but no. You see, that requires a certain amount of memory and attention to detail that I lack. Anyway, I digress. In this case, I forgot to put the white balance back. And because of that, the metadata of the video, basically the data that tells a player of the video or an editing software what temperature it was recorded at, was super off. And the only way I was going to fix that, because I recorded in RAW, was to change the metadata on it and re-render out all of those files, which took over 5.5 hours. Actually, it took 7 hours because the computer kept on turning off and I kept on having to like wake it up until I finally realized what was happening. And I was like, oh, dang it. And I made it so it doesn't go to sleep. But anyway, figured that out. Figured out how to get the color right. The next big mistake I made was I thought because I'm late on, I'm running out of time, or I'm late, that I could just not use the clapper. I was going to not fill out the scene and not change the take and not do the clapper, and that was going to be fine. It was not. It was not fine. I had 20 video files and 20 audio files. Their time codes were not synced up, and I had to spend probably close to 4 hours lining up and finding the right audio files that go with the right videos. Yep. So I've learned the power of the clapper. It is a very, very useful tool. Even if you are recording video without sound, especially if you are recording video without sound. Oh, it was so awful. So, yeah, I figured that out, but that wasted basically a whole day's worth of time that I had for editing. I wasted it just looking for the right files and matching them up. I could have probably done that better, where instead of over and over and over and over again doing that, I could have matched up all of them at once and named the files. But I thought I was saving time by not doing that. Another lesson learned: if you are short on time, that means that you have to do it right. Because if you don't, it's going to cost you more time. Okay, so next, what went wrong? Well, I don't know if this is considered going wrong, but I could have delivered something less fancy. I definitely recorded extra scenes, and I got special effects backgrounds, and on the sci-fi scene, you can see that there's moving smoke in front of me because I got a smoke layer and I composited it. I made it all look like it was a 90s Blade Runner style video. There were a bunch of things that I didn't have to do. I'm kind of glad I did it anyway. But if this was a paying client, I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have delivered something like I said I was going to do, because this is practice for delivering something. But I also learned that you don't have to get perfect color grades if it's an artistic style video. If you have control over it, you can see that there's many different grades. Some of them don't even match up. It's fine, whatever. Another lesson is music. I found that music itself can be a comedic tool. So when somebody, you can basically make it so this way, the music's all building up, and people are expecting the music to crescendo, and then you cut it out when somebody says something that you don't expect. And I got a laugh out of that. I thought it was funny. So I like that. Music can also act as a great segue in between scenes. If you don't have a good scene segue, then just play some music to a blank screen, and let it play for a little bit, and then bring in the next one. It kind of works. So I learned some new transitions there as well. The power of music just overall. I'm using a service called Storyblocks. And I grabbed all of that music from Storyblocks. I'm paying for the service, but I got access to all of those backgrounds, to the foreground smoke, special effects. When the camera fell down, that was a sound effect called trash crashing to ground. And it's not the actual sound of the actual camera that did actually fall, which is this one right here. That fan in there, kaput. I have tried to take it apart, but Aperture created this screw here. If any of you know how to get that off, those two side prongs there apparently go to some sort of huge spanner screwdriver, and I don't have one of those, so I can't get that out, and I can't get in there in order to use my a multimeter, but I have it, or an oscilloscope. I have an oscilloscope here. I could find out exactly what was going wrong, what went wrong with that, because it looks like it's I don't know. I don't want to even say, because I don't really know. I just know that the fan isn't getting power, or the fan is broken. But I think because I can spin the fan just fine when it's off by blowing on it, it's really a power issue. So, I guess that's all the lessons that I can think of that came to mind. This week, I'm going to be doing a much smaller project, I think, and hopefully I'll have that out so I can publish that on Friday. I'm also trying to publish on Friday afternoon, so this way people can see it on Friday night, but we'll see. We'll see where we end up. Tomorrow, in earnest, I'm going to be writing a small script to try and do that. Oh, shout out to Arthur Belfield in Colorado Springs. Arthur reached out to me, and not this week's, but next week's film will be done with his help. So I'll be going down to Colorado Springs. We're going to be filming a little, I won't give anything away, but we're going to be filming something together. And Arthur's a great comedy writer, so I'm really looking forward to actually reading the script that he sent days and days ago. He said he understands. He was like, get that film out and then read the script. So, Arthur, I'm going to read that script tomorrow. Just as a last thing, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that I'm going to be able to direct and produce and direct a video of the Patty Mac, I think it's the benefit concert. Shoot, I should know the exact name of the concert that I'm making video of. Support concert. Anyway, it's going to be at the Stargazers Theater on February 26th or 29th. I think it's 26th, which is going to be awesome. So I have a 4-camera semi-automated system that I'm setting up for it. One cinema camera on a slider, so it's going to be doing parallax. One cinema camera that will be shoulder mounted that I can also put down onto a tripod, so it just does a static shot. And I'm going to have a handheld camera that is on a gimbal that I can bring around and bring through the crowds and stuff like that. And then I'm on the stage. I'm going to have a 360-degree camera that is going to catch the action on stage from the point of view of the band itself. And also, one of the coolest things is that I have a wireless transmission system now. So the camera that I'll be bringing around with me will be wirelessly transmitted onto a 2-story high projector screen behind the band. So I'm pretty excited to see how that works out, since, during the concert, people will be able to see themselves up on the Jumbotron, So anyway, that's it for me. Really, really excited to hear what all of you think of this week's short. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. It really helps me out. Have a good night, everybody.